Good evening and welcome to Joy News Prime. Coming up tonight, NPP MPs in the Ashanti region feeling the heat from constituent as they seek an urgent meeting with President Akufo-Addo to discuss the poor state of roads in the region after Swami residents attacked their MP over the poor nature of their roads.
Leadership of Ashanti caucus and the entire caucus are planning to meet the president and draw his attention. Virtually all the constituencies have some concerns and issues to raise with roads.
Details as they condemn attacks on Majority Leader Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu by his constituent.
There were a lot of people that were, amongst others, hooting at him and throwing stones and water at him. We highly condemn this act. I am not sure that Honorable Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu had been given resources that he had to use within the region which had not been used.
Also, Health Minister accuses former Deputy Finance Minister Kaysel Atoforsen of authorizing payment to an ambulance supplier contrary to clear terms of the contract. Now, Trust Fund reveals it received more than 62 million Ghana cedis, of which it has spent more than 80%.
30th June 2022, and that was the height of things. We had actually collected 62,329,941 cedis, 98 pesos. So with all that, our current balance is 9.099 million.
More in this package as the COVID-19 Trust Fund managers attempt to douse public call for accountability of funds.
So as far as they're concerned, every packet of Indomie will go to somebody who needs it, not distributed among ourselves. No way.
Sights and sounds from Swami magazine on Monday when angry artisans pelted Member of Parliament for the area, Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, and his entourage with sachet water and other items. The angry artisans said delays by government in the fixing of the deplorable Swami roundabout macro stretch of the main Kumasi-Techiman Road is not only hampering businesses in the industrial hub, but also threatening lives. Now, on Thursday, the Ashanti caucus in Parliament is said to have an urgent meeting with President Akufo-Addo over what they say is the poor nature of roads in the region. This follows an attack on Majority Leader and MP for Swami, Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, by his constituent who were not happy about the state of road infrastructure in the region. Listen to Chairman of the Ashanti caucus, Kwame Eyimeduentwi, who says although some roads have been fixed and they commend government for that, more needs to be done as there is a lot of pressure from their constituents.
Leadership of Ashanti caucus and the entire caucus are planning to meet the president and draw his attention. First of all, to thank him for what he had done within the Ashanti region and also request that what had not been completed be completed. We have some constituencies that are besieged. For instance, we have Kwabri East. The roads within Kwabri East are very, very bad. And there are such constituencies like Manso, Adubia, and Kwanta, Bantama, Trumangobieja, North and South, Kwadaso, and not forgetting my own constituencies, Ashanti North, Central, and South. So virtually all the constituencies have some concerns and issues to raise with roads. There are two issues that we have planned to actually meet the leadership of government to actually discuss. That is mainly roads and then IPEP projects, and all the projects that are coming under the middle belt. And we believe that if these projects are completed, I'm sure our constituents would have the confidence in the government.
The caucus also condemned the attacks on the majority leader and called in their constituent to exercise restraint as they lobby government to fix the roads.
Recently, the leader of the House, Honorable Chairman Sabunsu, visited his constituency, and specifically in Swami. There were a lot of people that were, amongst others, hooting at him and throwing stones and water at him. The reason when we inquired was that most of the roads, and there are inner roads that had not been completed. Others were also attributing this to Swami interchange and other things. We highly condemn this act. I am not sure that Honorable Chairman Sabunsu had been given resources that he had to use within the region which had not been used. So we call upon our constituents, especially within the Kumasi metropolis and within the whole of Ashanti region, to exercise restraint. We heard other people chanting statements like Yato Aba Anuyeho. We call upon all our supporters within the region to actually exercise restraint. It is not that we are looking on unconcerned, but we think that it was just unfortunate that this Swami issue should be addressed then. So please, we would call upon those that did this to actually apologize, actually meet their leadership and apologize. I'm sure if they had actually been informed of the approval of the various loans that had been given approved by Parliament yesterday, what had happened wouldn't have happened.
Now, Parliament agrees to set up a bipartisan committee to further investigate the police shooting incident at the Islamic Senior High School in Kumasi last month. The incident, which left over 30 students hospitalized, drew condemnation, with Parliament tasking its Defense and Interior Committee to go on a fact-finding mission. The report recommending a bipartisan committee was unanimously accepted by the House. Parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante now reports.
The Defense and Interior Committee report faulted the police riot control mechanism and their lack of tact in dealing with the students.
This is unfortunate. The police is there to protect lives and property. They are all your children. And they had done nothing more. Demonstration camps. We've been in schools before. So if you are called to disperse the crowd, you are not supposed to go and, shoot in the air with rubber bullets or live bullets and all that. Mr. Speaker, the headmaster told us that when he had the information, he rushed to the school and he asked the student body to go back to their classrooms or go back to their dormitories. The police at that time, that is what we were told, forced the gate open and rushed in and started firing left and right with tear gas, rubber bullets and all that. It's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak berated the police for not learning lessons from similar previous incidents.
The most worrying is the excessive force, and like the committee itself found, and how students were handled. And unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we keep repeating the same mistake, and we hope that we'll get a different result. We are still leaving this matter to the police to investigate, and we expect that they will come out with a report, or a report that will be satisfactory for an independent commission to be handling matters when it arises between police and citizens. It's long overdue.
Moving a motion for the adoption of the committee's report, Chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee, Kennedy Ejapon, also called for the sanctioning of the Urban Roads Director in the Ashanti region.
Mr. Speaker, the committee requests the Ministry of Roads and Highways, as a matter of urgency, provide pedestrian crossing and speed ramps to ensure safe usage of the road by both motorists and pedestrians. The committee therefore recommends that Parliament should set up a bipartisan committee to further investigation the matter to the latter.
Ranking member on the committee, James Agalga, argued that the police cannot be allowed to investigate itself.
The police, Mr. Speaker, have been fingered in this matter for using gratuitous force in controlling crowds made up of very young students. And so when you allow them to investigate themselves, Mr. Speaker, the end result could be that the investigation would be skewed in a manner that is undesirable.
Given the very dicey nature of this situation, members of Parliament said the report of the committee was very important to them and took turns to debate its contents. According to the MPs, they were not so much excited about the conduct of the police in firing live bullets into those students. They also took time to criticize the Urban Roads Department in the Ashanti region for failing to provide speed ramps in front of the school despite several requests by management. Majority Leader Osei Chairman Sabonsu said he had no concerns about the House setting up a committee. And so he's expecting, now that the committee's report has been adopted, that members from both sides will be presented to form a bipartisan committee to investigate this conduct of the police service.
So, Mr. Speaker, I agree that we should have such a structure, an independent investigative body on the occurrence of such incidents to investigate the commissions or omissions of the police. But that is not to say that what happened and the reaction of the police commander, the IGP, should not be commended.
Now, Health Minister Kojo Manu has accused a former Deputy Finance Minister, KSL Atoforsen, of authorizing payment to an ambulance supplier contrary to clear terms of the contract. The minister told the High Court the contract required that no payment should be made until the vehicles are delivered. Inspection, he explained, was also to be carried out prior to shipping of the vehicles. Mr. Kojo Manu is the state's third witness in the case against Dr. Forsen and two others. Court correspondent Joseph Akable reports.
Mr. Manu on Thursday continued with his testimony, which he had started on June 28. He explained that after the contract for the supply of the ambulance and all agreements had been signed, the then government failed to perform its obligations. Big C, the company tasked to supply the vehicles, he continued, wrote to the Attorney General serving notes of its intention to sue. Big C, he said, was unhappy that government was failing to undertake the pre-shipment inspection as had been agreed. The Attorney General's office, he said, wrote to the Ministry of Health urging the government to perform its obligation to avoid a judgment debt. He revealed the Ministry of Health replied, saying they did not have funds for the project. Mr. Manu said it was at this point that Dr. Forsen wrote to the Bank of Ghana asking that a letter of credit be established. This move, he insisted, was contrary to the agreement. The agreement, he explained, required payment to be made only when vehicles had arrived. He alleged that the first 10 vehicles arrived in the country shortly after, but were found to be defective by the ambulance service. The health minister was then cross-examined by lawyers for Dr. Forsen. Lead counsel Dr. Abdulaziz Bamba questioned the minister on whether Dr. Forsen had simply made a request for letters of credit or authorized payment. He argued a letter of credit is not payment. He also suggested to the health minister that nowhere in Dr. Forsen's letter does he instruct the central bank. The health minister, however, insisted his understanding of the phrase urgent request is synonymous to an instruction. It was then pointed out to him that Dr. Forsen signed the letter on behalf of the then finance minister, Seth Tekpe. Dr. Bamba explained Mr. Tekpe has since confirmed authorizing Dr. Forsen to write the letter. The health minister said he was not aware. The case has been adjourned to Tuesday, July 26 for continuation of cross-examination.
Now, minority in Parliament has described as unsatisfactory account rendered by a board of trustees of the COVID-19 Trust Fund. For months, the NDC MPs have been pushing for a full-blown probe into government's use of the COVID-19 fund. Even though Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta had presented account to the House, the minority said it had been inconclusive. The Board of Trustees have been accounting for some 62 million Ghana cedis that they received as donation in the fight against COVID-19. Here is Board Chair Justice Retired Sophia Ekufo.
As at 30th June 2022, and that was the height of things, we had actually collected 62,329,941 cedis, 98 pesos, never forget. So with all that, our current balance is 9.099 million. So as far as they're concerned, every packet of Indomie will go to somebody who needs it, not distributed among ourselves. No way. Between April and December, we were able to distribute about 10.25 million cedi worth of PPEs and other materials. 8 testing centers, 9, all the regional and municipal district hospitals, etc., and 126 CHIPS compounds. We were able to do all that. We gave 8 million cedis to the reopening of educational institutions coordinating committee. NUGS, I don't know why why this whole NUGS thing has become a storm in a teacup. National Union of Ghana Students, support for organization of national leadership training on post-COVID-19. You see, post-COVID-19 is an area where we need to be also concerned about, because apart from the social impact of post-COVID-19, there is also the health impact of post-COVID-19. And it's important that we get to a better knowledge about this disease and in the long term, what its impact is going to be. With all the PPEs we were receiving, sometimes in my office, I will run out of a mask. And if I don't buy one for myself, they will have to requisition because we were not using for ourselves. So as far as they're concerned, every packet of Indomie will go to somebody who needs it, not distributed among ourselves. No way.
So what are the details of the account as presented by the COVID-19 Trust Fund today? Now, let's share with you. According to them, as at 30th June 2022, the fund had received some 62.3 million Ghana cedis. Now, the Trust Fund, again, says that out of that amount, some 53.2 million Ghana cedis has been disbursed as at 30th June 2022. Now, the managers again account that with all the expenditures, they gave details as to how the monies were disbursed. You heard Madam Sophia Kufu there telling us the amount that they gave various institutions. We're going to give you details of that. Now, what is remaining now in the trust fund's account is some 9 million Ghana cedis. So, which means that out of the total money they've received, they have spent 85.4% of it. What is remaining is 14.6%. That is what is in the account now, some 9 million Ghana cedis there. What did they spend the monies on? They procured some PPEs, and that amounted to 10.3 million Ghana cedis. They also supported the COVID-19 private sector fund to put up that infectious disease center with some 6.8 million Ghana cedis. Again, they supported the NCCE with logistics amounting to 2.5 million Ghana cedis. They also supported Pantine Hospital with some 806,000 Ghana cedis. They also supported the Noguchi Memorial Center, Noguchi, with some 5.57 million. They spent 8 million on the national reopening of educational institutions. They said they supported the Educational Institutions Coordinating Committee to ensure the reopening of tertiary institutions. That they spent 8 million Ghana cedis. They also gave the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, of the University of Ghana, some 297.9 thousand Ghana cedis, and they also gave 815,000 to the Judicial Service. All these are contained in the statement released today. Again, they gave the Bono Regional Coordinating Council some 210,000 Ghana cedis. They also gave 47,000 to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. Now, they gave the Ingenious Africa Limited some 200,000 Ghana cedis. Health Federation in Ghana and MedLab Services Ghana Limited some 114,000 cedis. Now, they spent 3.96 million on the disbursement of funds to support COVID-19 victims identified through the ISA survey. And according to them, they gave 500 cedis per each person. Now again, they continue to say that they gave some 1 million Ghana cedis to the police hospital that was spent on the procurement of PPEs. They also gave the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research in Tropical Medicine an amount of 624,000 Ghana cedis. They also gave 525,000 cedis to the National Commission on Culture. Again, out of the monies received, they gave the Greater Accra Regional Hospital to lay oxygen pipelines to support the ICUs, an amount of 314,000 Ghana cedis. Ingenious Africa Limited, again, was given some 221,000 Ghana cedis. Ebeya Foundation, Education for Hearing Impaired Persons, was also giving 227,000 Ghana cedis. They gave NUCS, the National Union of Ghana Students, 40,000 Ghana cedis. They also gave the account that they settled the hospital bills of some deceased patients. That amounted to 4,000 Ghana cedis. They also purchased PPEs to 20 health facilities and over 100 CHIPS compound. That also amounted to some 2,000 Ghana cedis. These were the breakdown there. They continue to say that they gave the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital some 553,000 cedis, and that was meant for the rehabilitation of COVID-19 treatment center damaged by flood waters in October 2021. They also gave an amount of 532 cedis to the National Road Safety Authority. Now, to the Center for Plant Medicine Research in Equiapem, they gave 1.8 million Ghana cedis to supporting research there. They also gave the Ghana Health Service an amount of 458,000 Ghana cedis to support the airing of documentaries on vaccines. And they gave, again, the Nogochi to support vaccine research an amount of 2.3 million Ghana cedis. So that's the breakdown of the COVID-19 Trust Fund funds that came in that the managers of the fund gave us today. But still to come here on Joy News Prime, some basic school pupils of Achikwada in the Chufu Etumokwa district of the Central Region refused to go to school. Now, welcome back from the break. And some basic school pupils of Ochukodria in the Chufu Etimokwa district of the Central Region refused to go to school because of their dilapidated classroom structure. Not only the school pupils, but teachers who are posted refused postings. Speaking at a donation of door desk, bags of cement and other education items by the Central Regional ACG Power Queens Club, head teacher of the school, Victor Ando, revealed that lack of interest among school pupils and teachers has left the school with only 3 teachers who teach from KG1 to Class 6. There's more in this report.
The mere sight of the classroom structure here at Ochikodria in the Chufu Etimokwa district of the Central Region demotivate the school pupils. Many stay home because they are mocked at by their peers in other schools. For the newly posted teachers to the place, they do not return to take up the appointment because of the school structure and the general school environment. Currently, 3 teachers have the onerous task of teaching from kindergarten 1 to basic 6.
We would like the stakeholders and then the government to support us in our building so that the children will be happy. When they see the building, they become happy so that they will attend the school. Because of the burden, sometimes when they are not coming to school, you visited them at the house, they say they are not coming. Some of them run away when they see you because their friends and from the other schools are teasing them about the burden. So they decide not to come at all and they stay at home.
The head teacher of Ochikodria Basic School, Victor Ando, says the school needs help to inject some confidence in the learning environment.
We had some trained teachers last year. When they came and then saw the burden, they went without returning. That means the major challenge of the school. And then that is the staffing. We have major challenge because we are only 3 running from KG up to classes. So that one is very, very challenge to the school. We are waiting for this for a very long time. I quite remember the first day you visited our school. In fact, many people come, but we don't hear anything from them. But you came here for the second time, making us sure that you will be in the help of the school. And today, in fact, the community, the staff, and everyone is happy for what you have done for us.
The Central Regional Power Queens Club of the Electricity Company of Ghana, upon an assessment of the situation, decided to donate some dual desk, bags of cement to undertake some renovations and other educational items. President of the Power Queens Club, Eve J, says the donation forms part of the club's corporate social responsibility and was initiated by their general manager, Engineer Emmanuel Ankuma.
Let's go back to our earlier story where the Ashanti caucus in Parliament is said to have an urgent meeting with President Akufo-Addo over what they say is the poor nature of roads in the region. This follows an attack on Majority Leader and MP for Swami, Osei Mensah Bonsu, by his constituents who were not happy about the state of road infrastructure in the region. So how relevant is the Ashanti region to the MPP and its political fortunes? Joining us is a political science lecturer with the University of Ghana, Dr. Asa Asante. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. Now, how relevant is the Ashanti region to the fortunes of political parties in Ghana?
Ashanti region has the highest number of seats, about 47 constituencies. And it's the main decider when we are talking about, and of course, it's the stronghold of the MPP. Without Ashanti, I'm not sure the MPP will find it so easy to win any election in Ghana. Then it means that they need to struggle in other regions and all that, especially when you have Greater Accra Central region, sometimes being the swing regions, then it becomes a very difficult task for the MPP. So for the MPP, Ashanti region is is everything in terms of elections. When you look at even the quantum of votes in there, as soon as they cross the 70% margin, they are home and dry. Yes, and over the years they've been able to perform extremely high in Ashanti region to win the vote. The NDC have been hovering around 27% and all that. So if you look at Ashanti, it's a big area. But in terms of quantum of votes, the lower limits within Ashanti region is about 1.3 million, and the upper limits is about 1.7 million for MP. If you look at the upper limit, the lower limit for NDC is about 408,000 plus, and then for the upper limits is about 774,000 plus. So you realize that for Ashanti and for the MPP in Ashanti region, it means a lot. So anything that affects or likely to affect the fortunes of the party, they are quick to respond to that.
So if that's the case, how should be the relationship between such a political party and such a region like the Ashanti region?
Oh, obviously, you see, political parties believe in numbers. So if you have the numbers, it doesn't matter even that place is your stronghold, anywhere. Because let us remember that our system is based on first past the post system. In other words, whoever crosses the finish line by one vote, you have won in terms of even presidential and parliamentary elections. So the numbers count, and more so when it is your stronghold. You do everything possible to arrest any situation that are likely to undermine your political fortunes.
So looking at how angry the residents are with the MPP government now, what impact can that have on the party's fortunes in 2024?
Oh, it is not the whole Ashanti region. Let us remember that this is Swami constituency. And that constituency...
Yes, but Doc, let me add that today, the Ashanti caucus in Parliament have also served notice that they are meeting the president on Thursday to, have a meeting with him about how they can deal with roads in the region, because there are a lot of roads that are terrible in the region.
Yes, definitely they will meet the president, and they have their concerns that they will discuss. But all these things you have to also weigh it against also the general conditions of the country. So yes, much as the people are angry, they want their road to be fixed and all that. It will take some time for their concerns to be addressed, because there are other regions which are also looking for such opportunity, and that you can address one and leave the rest. So that is the thing that we need to know, right? So definitely they will get to the president, but I am sure that all these things can be done and done well if they have good rapport. They are able to talk to them, let them see reason, and then promise them within a short time for them to see action on the road. That is the way to go.
Doc, they have complained that other regions have had their roads attended to, and they, which are classified as the World Bank, have terrible roads. You mean they won't have that impact in 2024? Nothing will happen to the government?
But I'm not sure the government is going to allow that thing to lie fallow so that the problem remain unsolved. No, government is not going to do that. Government is likely to handle that. But how early will that problem be handled is the problem. Because we are in difficult times. So they have to also see reason. Let us also remember that we are dealing with the whole country, which also each and every area by the constitution also must get some infrastructure development. Let us remember that infrastructure development is also one of infrastructure. It's one of the factors that influence voter choices. So you can develop one area and leave the rest. Look at even Accra. There are a lot of terrible roads and all that. But all these things will be done according to resources that are available then giving certain specific.
Doc, I'm grateful that you found time to join us on the news. That's Dr. Asa Asante. He is a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. Now, General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Kodia, says he will not endorse any candidate or person seeking to be flag bearer of the party for the next elections. Additionally, he said he will table a proposal before the National Executive Committee of the party to prevent other executives from doing same. He was speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah.
That as General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, I will not take side in the presidential primaries. And I'll be an honest referee. I'll make sure that the rules, the processes that leads to us selecting our presidential candidate will be free, fair, and transparent. I take a cue from what happened in 2007, 2008, where at a point in time, the party was so sharply divided. You had party officers supporting candidate A or they're supporting candidate B. By the time we were done with the presidential primaries, there was so much acrimony and division among us that we couldn't unite for the 2008 elections. So I'm starting that gospel message to everyone that for me as General Secretary, I will not take side. So it's something I will push through the steering committee, NEC, and even National Council that party officers, particularly national officers, regional officers, constituency officers, should not come out to support particular candidates. And we should allow.
Will you crack the whip if anybody does?
Once the party makes rules, once the party makes directive, trust me on that. We will crack the whip when it becomes necessary without fear or favor.
You seem very calm and not like somebody who will like to crack the whip.
Well, I'm calm but very firm.
Now, he disagrees with assertions that he was an underdog going into the election against then incumbent John Boadu. Meanwhile, former General Secretary of the NPP, Kwabena Ejapon, is demanding the resignation of Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta over his handling of finances of the country.
It's part of a government. Of course, you have a finance minister, you should be able to have your own personal imprint. But as I said, the the sweetness of the pudding lies in the eating. Is that not it? So this is where we've ended. So it's not for me to say anything. We are where we are.
And that's his fault, I mean.
Well, we are where we are. So as a country, you, as they say, you reap what you sow. In life generally, you reap what you sow.
Should he resign? Should the finance minister resign?
I would think that on the basis of what he said 2 weeks before to the whole country, which is that we will never go to the IMF and we are a proud country, we have the resources. And when you speak like that, you know, I mean, you should look yourself in the mirror and say, look, I got it wrong. Mr. President, I thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I should stand down.
Now, a brother of former President Mills is asking those who want to know the cause of death of the former president to stop asking. According to Samuel Atta Mills, who is MP for Commander Edna Egua for Ebrim constituency, it's unfortunate that 10 years since President Mills' passing, such questions keep coming up. A former aide of the former president, Koku Ahindoho, is asking the family to let Ghanaians know what killed him. But Samuel Atta Mills says such questions are not necessary.
One of the things that struck me when I used to be there with him was his bedroom at the castle used to leak whenever it rained. And we would always complain to him, brother, why don't you move out of this room? Whenever it rained, we had to put buckets in his bedroom at the castle. Go and live at home, and you can come to work every day. And he said, no, I do not want to inconvenience Ghanaians. Because can you believe such a busy road as Sprinters Road, and the president coming to work between 7:30 and 8 with the sirens, about 10 or 12 cars and about 5 motorbikes blocking the road for the president to come to the office. And in the evening, also going through the same thing. No, he didn't want to inconvenience Ghanaians. Secondly, the estate where he lived, Regimanuel Estate. This is a quiet neighborhood that he didn't want to disturb his friends, always going with all these cars going up and down. And thirdly, what he told us was, can you believe the amount of resources that we will use, fuel, security men who will follow him to the house, the amount of money that it will cost the nation, and that the savings that he could make out of that, he could use it to build boreholes or to build schools. Big brother, happy birthday. Now, it's interesting that after your death, so many things are coming on. I just hope and wish that Ghanaians will focus on what he did instead of how he died, because it's none of anybody's business. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
And as we celebrate the birthday of the man, Professor Atta Mills, may we say, may his soul rest in perfect peace, and may we learn to live by his examples. Now, there's more news on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Enjoy the rest of our shows. Have a great evening.